And, I mean, you have in there the caveat, you have in there the effective date, and the commissioners then have time with which to look at the funding mechanism for doing this. And if the commissioners come back at the special retirement board meeting sometime in January and say, it works, or it doesn't work.
You know, I think that's right. I mean, I think that way it's really, I don't think it's appropriate for us to be taking an action today that puts the budgetary burden on the commissioners without an appropriate study being done. Let the study be done, and we're acting responsibly. I support this, Diane.
Right.
I think we all support it, but let the study come back, and then the commissioners can say whether or not, yeah.
So do we have a motion?
I mean, I have a sense for what it's going to cost, but I don't want to say it because I'm not positive.
If I can, Scott, you know, we all may all sit here and endorse this thing. If we're going to pass a motion here, and the commissioners find it isn't feasible, guess who's the three?
Well, I was going to ask, where is there a motion to table?
I put the motion on the table.
Is there a second? I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
Yes.
Yes, meaning opposing.
Yes. Opposed, no. Nay.
Jack, you're opposed?
You know?
No.
Okay, so it's still on the floor.
You're right.
Motion carries.
Okay, so
Was yours the table?
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
This never happened before.
Can we move on to fund manager and get that done?
You got a table on a motion, Phil.
We got a motion.
You got a motion on the table, for gosh sakes.
Right.
You can't supersede your motion. It's already out there.
I didn't say that. The table didn't pass.
Right. The table didn't pass.
The motion's still there.
It's on the floor.
Well, if you two are in favor of the table, I assume you're going to vote no on it. So,
I would never assume anything.
Well, no.
Commissioners.
Well,
Treating Glenn should have been here.
You want
Yeah,
to,
obviously.
if you don't want
Very
it,
stale.
you don't want it to pass, you vote no, I guess.
Bill, there's too many unknowns in here.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying,
Can't we just get off this loggerhead by simply saying it's the will and wishes of the retirement board, subject to the budgetary wishes of the Board of Commissioners, to recommend the movement of the county to the 140th class basis, and again, subject to the budgetary approval of the board, making the benefit class basis retroactive to the employee's date of hire.
Effective?
Effective January 2nd, 2004, subject to the approval of the Board of Commissioners.
That's fine.
that's what Jim's
Right.
saying, the analysis comes back, there might be a difference. You two think we can afford it, or the three board think we can afford it. Then if the board says, we're going to take a little longer, or whatever, and you don't, then the board looks, the commissioners look like they squash this thing when, that's the only thing I'm saying.
Let's leave the motion on the table. Can we do the fund managers and get office procurements? Let Bill and I think about this, about how we can structure this. See if Norm is able to come up with...
I could make a quick call, but I know what he's going to say. He's going to say, I'll do an analysis.
Fine, that one can be done. Is 4 o'clock today too soon? And then we can discuss, reconvene.
You can't. We need your input. Come on.
We need some information.
Perfect, but I mean, that's...
Who's paying for my parking?
No one has your parking ticket. The city needs some money. Come on.
Well, I mean, the motion is simply to make the recommendation subject to adequate funding.
Can we at least pick up the phone and call Norm and ask him if he can help us start about 7? I think that may avoid a myriad of problems.
Maybe I'm looking at too much for the commissioners. You know, I think you need good analysis. You need good financial ability to fund anything. And you know, maybe I'm being selfish on that end.
I understand your message. I do understand.
The ultimate end is the commissioners are responsible. And you know,
we're going to drag this on.
I don't want to put the retirement board against the commissioners.
I'm going to retract my no vote and agree with tabling. I mean, it's, you know.
all right, motion's been tabled. Bill,
Bill, the finance.
He's not going to be able to give you a number now on the
You
phone,
know what?
nor would I
You'll
expect
never
him
know.
to.
You'll know, you
I
won't.
already talked to him. He can't just do that.
Well, you tell us you made the call.
I said I've been saying all along I've been talking to him, but he says he's got to do an analysis.
Okay.
It involves analyzing 800 county employees. The figure he gave me is a 50% increase in liability. That's the figure I've been throwing out at the board here.
But we want to have this done next month. Okay, the latest. We want to have a decision made
I
next
think it's
month.
still January 2nd.
Yeah.
And we'll probably
We
need
don't want to
him.
drag this out.
Would it be appropriate, there may be a fee involved. So we're going to need the retirement board, any costs associated with analytical study conducted by the Hay Group for the purposes of identifying or estimating the cost associated with the benefit.
And can we mitigate those people, or get those people that may fall through the cracks? If we said this is effective on 1/2/2004,
And make it retroactive back to those
and
employees.
whatever residual amount they would have received at the 140th instead of the 160th, we need to make a special one-time, do you know what I'm saying?
Just going to say, just,
We
She'll check it out.
we could do that, right?
Check it out.
I mean,
I can-
The law's the
I-
law, but she
right.
can...
but that's,
I would at least preliminarily be comfortable with that because you're announcing that before January 2nd and not after January 2nd. But
And-
I would like to look into that.
but then no one should fall through the cracks technically, right?
But I would strongly recommend that anybody who is contemplating a retirement date between now and whatever final action is taken on this be advised of the potential involvement here, and they need to decide what is right for
Right.
themselves one way or another, and not rely on any retroactive action by the board. That's a possibility.
And how's that communicated to everybody, so everyone gets the same message?
I think whoever is in the pipeline now for retirement needs to be personally advised of that. There shouldn't be that many, I
Anybody
would
calls
think.
Trish,
Sometimes I don't know till after,
they just quit.
Yeah.
or I just receive notice from personnel, so maybe a memo. Do you want a memo to go out?
Well, you need to, yeah,
With
as I say,
paychecks?
we're opening up,
It's just- it's-
going down a slippery slope here.
Can we do the fund manager, this kind of model?
I mean, I need some direction too. I mean, I'll be happy to contact Norm. There may be a fee involved. I'll be delighted to do that. Assuming he's,
Give notice.
why don't you do that?
Any company I've ever worked with,
Yeah.
it's got to be turned into somebody.
Don't we have provision in any of our contracts of,
Well, that's if they
2 weeks for a quit.
quit, yeah, for like vacation.
Okay, let's move on while we have the lull in the storm here. Move to adjourn? I just want to see what you're saying.
It's like, what? Yeah, it's a tough act to follow, but I've got the report on our manager recommendations. I think I got everyone except the original copies of the report.
it's dragged
Okay, just for a quick update on how this got started when Yanni Partners was hired. We took a look at the portfolio and made the recommendation to replace Invesco National Asset Management, the large cap manager, with 2 managers, diversifying the large cap portion of the portfolio into a large cap value and a large cap growth mandate. We also made the recommendation to replace State Street Global Advisors, who are running a small cap index fund with an active manager, additionally replacing State Street on the fixed income side with an active fixed income manager as well. Several months ago, we ran screens from our database in our offices. We did this primarily on performance, looking at 3- and 5-year performance, standard deviation, volatility of each manager, the alpha, and additionally looked at how the style map looks for each manager to make sure that they are, in fact, a large cap value manager. We did those screens for all of the above asset classes. Depending on the asset class, that cut us down to 30 to 60 names. From
Sean,
there,
just to interject real quickly, I know we have a glossary of terms here, but
Yes.
refresh the board members the meaning of alpha.
Okay, alpha is a risk-adjusted number based on return. It will tell you what a manager return would be compared to the index based upon their volatility.
Well,
So
yeah, but
basically,
to sum it up, it's basically what the
put it-
managers, the market's going up, all the managers are doing
Right.
great. It's what the manager has contributed.
Right, so if the market were to return 0, for example, on page 1, For Cook and Beeler, the first line up there, their alpha is 847.